welcome to Accent on Education. I'm Laura Hoover, the Culpeper County Public Schools Director of Communication, and today I'm excited to have two important people with me, Dr. Bopp and Mrs. Kilby. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so right now you guys are both at Floyd T. Benz. Dr. Bopp, you're the principal, and Mrs. Kilby, assistant principal, but next year you'll be changing roles. Dr. Bopp, what will you be doing next year?
Well, next year I have the opportunity to go be the principal of Eastern View High School, and I am very excited about that.
Okay, great. And Mrs. Kilby?
And with Dr. Bopp leaving, I will be the principal of Floyd T. Benz.
Okay, well that's very exciting.
It is.
Now, how long have you all been at Benz together?
Good question. We have been very fortunate. We have worked together, this is our 6th year.
Yep.
So we have been in the trenches together for 6 years over at Floyd T. Benz.
Okay, great. Now, high school principal, was this always part of your plan?
You know, that's a good question. I think I was potentially hoping to do that one day, but you know, it's a pretty big job, and I'm honored to have the opportunity, but I think it was always maybe a wish or desire, and I'm really happy that I get to do that.
Great. Mrs. Kilby, were you planning to be principal at Floyd T. Benz?
Planning to be principal, a middle school principal, yes. And I'm very fortunate that that opportunity has come up at Floyd T. Benz now, yeah.
Great. Now, has all of your experience been on the middle school level?
As far as being an administrator, not all. I was also an assistant principal at Pearl Sample Elementary. And prior to that, when I was in the classroom, I taught at Culpeper High School and Eastern View.
Okay, so you've had every
Yes,
level.
I sure have, absolutely.
Okay, great. Dr. Bopp, have you always been at the middle school level?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
16 years.
Wow,
Teacher,
great.
AP, principal, all in this division, actually.
So high school will be a new adventure.
It will be a new adventure, yes, I'm excited.
Great, that's awesome. Now, I know from personal experience that the role of a building principal is quite difficult at times. But you all are choosing to take this step in this new adventure. So why are you planning to do this work?
You know, that is a big and broad question. I think, and just in my experience, you know, being a school principal at any level is very rewarding, and you know that the work that you're doing matters. And I think when you can find something like that's just part of who you are, it becomes who you are. I mean, my wife teaches in the division, my kids are in the division, I've always been here. It becomes not necessarily just your job, but what you do and who you are as a person. And I think that when you can find something like that, that's pretty special.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Dr. Bopp really said it. It's that becomes who you are, and I really could not see myself working anywhere else or doing anything else. This is going to be my 22nd year in education, and it was meant to be. Yeah.
That's great. Well, Culpeper County Public Schools is certainly lucky to have you both serving in these roles. Now, new roles. Change can be hard sometimes. People are probably out there wondering, what changes are you planning to make next year?
Yeah, okay. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Yeah, you start.
Sure. Okay. So at Floyd T. Benz, we have a wonderful track record, and we have really, with Dr. Bopp and I, for 6 years, we've built and laid a pretty good foundation at the school. So I'm just looking to not a lot of big changes, but just continue to grow all of the wonderful things that we've got going on there, and just to grow also academically. We will have the new wing will be something that's very new and exciting. So that will be something that we're going to get some extra space that we definitely need for teachers and students. And we will also have a designated drama classroom, which we have never had. So we are very excited about that change.
Great.
Yeah, when they built that school in the 40s, that was not on their list.
That's right.
So that school's gone through multiple renovations now. It's pretty exciting. In terms of myself personally going to Eastern View, I think one of the most important things when you go to a school and people know that change is coming is to do it in a manner that is calm, that is smooth. I bring a certain level of expectations, very high expectations for myself. But along with that, you've got to have high expectations for students, for staff, and you really have to form a community partnership. You can't run a school that big unless the community is helping you. The parents, unless students are active in not just the classroom, but outside it as well. So, creating a safe learning environment for everybody. One where the community feels like they're not only supporting the school, but part of it. I mean, that's the biggest school in Culpeper County, and you can't run something like that without appropriate community sponsorships, community help, and I think getting everybody on the same page so that everyone knows what the expectations are from the top down, and working in a very welcoming school, because when you have a building that big filled with your kids, it just doesn't work unless the community's involved.
Great. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, do you feel that coming from Ben's, most of the students go to Eastern View, so you'll have relationships with those
I think that's
families?
one of the things that I'm most excited about, because a lot of times when a school, particularly a high school, gets a new principal, everyone is wondering, what is this person going to bring? Well, the majority of these parents are used to hearing my voice on Sunday nights already.
Right.
So now it'll just be a different, it'll be the same voice for a different school. And these kids, they know the level of expectations that I bring, and I think so. Some of that, the honeymoon period, will exist for some people, but most of them know, okay, we're familiar with him. I formed really good relationships with these kids and their parents over years, and so some of these kids I'll have for 7 years in a row,
Right.
which is, it's almost never happens. It's a unique
Right.
opportunity that I'm excited for.
That's great. That's great. And Dr. Elnemer is coming to Eastern View with you as
Yes,
well?
he is. Yes, he's the real star of the show.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we'll bring him on next month.
Oh,
to
boy.
actually
that would be
on
amazing.
I
education.
can't
Yep,
wait.
that would be
I cannot
amazing.
And
wait.
I will tell him that you
Oh,
suggested
yeah.
that right
Oh,
here
okay.
on this month's episode. Well, that's great. So we talked about the new space. You mentioned the community effort, and if both of you think about, it really is a community effort. The success of our children is important to everyone, because that is the success of all of us in the community. What do you see? What are ways that the community can support you in your schools? How can they support us as a school system? If someone's out there thinking like, I want to be a part of this, what would you say to them?
That is a very broad question, but it's appropriate. I think the most important thing that you can do at both schools is create, number one, an environment where the community feels welcome. Because if you're going to have people volunteering their time, whether it's lining fields, whether it's going on field trips, whether it's coming in and helping out when the C-Tech department runs a wonderful event and you need community partnerships, people need to feel like not only that they're welcome, but they're wanted. So getting that message out there, coming to games, coming to the play, coming to the concerts to support these kids. I mean, obviously the easiest way is please send us money,
Right.
because
Right.
you can't run a school,
Yeah.
you can't run the programs that happen that make high school, or middle school without community sponsorship. It just doesn't work. But those people need to know, we want you here more than just that. We need you here for support. Kids need to see faces that they don't necessarily know when big events are happening. I think, high schools in a town like our size, this is the show. Sometimes this is what you do on Friday night. This is what you do in the spring. Everybody knows. You can see those lights in Eastern View from miles away when there's a football
Right.
game going on.
This is true.
And you need people to come out and support them. You need help. The boosters, everybody.
Yeah.
It's just that you can't do it alone. And assuming that you can, you will fail.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mrs. Kilby, looking towards next year, what are you most excited about?
Not having to work with me.
Actually, no, that would be the very one downside of this situation. But I love being at Floyd T. Benz, and I have created some really great relationships with teachers, staff members, and students, and I really look forward to just seeing them continue to grow.
Okay, that sounds good. Dr. Bopp, how about you?
What am I looking forward to? The challenge, number one. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these students that I've had just a little bit older. Seeing a different side of them, seeing them thrive with opportunities that maybe they just didn't have at the middle school, not for lack of trying, just because the programs didn't exist. Right. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with some of the parents that I know, who've over time they become part of your social group, right. Part of your acquaintances. So I'm excited about that, and just working in wearing cyclone blue. It's one of my favorite colors. So.
Okay, well, that's great.
That's a little thing, but I like it.
Hey, that's important.
And being a Cyclone parent, I
Sure.
can say I've already seen you out there on the sidelines a little bit, so that's great. So hopefully you all will get to take a little bit of a break. Are any summer plans, any vacations to get in before you start your new journey?
We'll be going to the beach
Okay.
for some time this summer,
Always
and
good.
you know, just kind of being at home, going to the pool, doing things around the house. Yeah.
Yep, we're going to go to the beach for a week, but I'll be at Easterview quite a bit this summer. So.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Well, thank you all both for being here today on Accent on Education. Dr. Bopp, Mrs. Kilby, we look forward to seeing all the great things that you and your teachers and students do next year.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back with more Accent on Education.
Culpeper County Public Schools is now registering students for preschool and kindergarten for next year. Children who turn 5 on or before September 30th, 2022 are eligible to attend kindergarten. You will need your child's birth certificate, immunization record, proof of residence, and school entrance health form to meet Virginia Department of Education enrollment requirements. If you are unsure which school your child should attend, call the CCPS Transportation Office at 540-825-5446. Children who turn 4 on or before September 30th and meet VPI income requirements are eligible to attend preschool. Registration does not guarantee placement. The VPI coordinator will schedule a follow-up meeting with parents as additional documentation will be required. Preschool programs are dependent upon federal, state, and local funding. To register your child, please visit www.culpeperschools.org.
Welcome back to Accent on Education. Our next guest is Molly Baird, the Culpeper County Public Schools Teacher of the Year. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you here today.
It's exciting to be here.
Molly, you are a 4th grade teacher at A.G. Richardson, right?
Yes, correct.
Have you always taught 4th grade at A.G.?
I have not. I have always been at A.G. Richardson. I started 13 years ago in 3rd grade, and I was there for 4 years. Then I moved to 1st grade for 4 years, and then this has been my 5th year in 4th grade.
So you think you'll stay with 4th grade? Do you like 4th grade?
I honestly can't say I have a favorite. I
Okay.
have loved every grade level for every different reason. So.
Okay, well,
yeah.
great. Well, this year you were selected to be the A.G. Richardson Teacher of the Year. And then at the April 11th school board meeting, you learned that you also were selected to be the Culpeper County Teacher of the Year. Was that a surprise?
It was a huge surprise, yeah. I
Yeah.
was really excited. The group that I was nominated with is spectacular, and a lot of the people within the group are people that I look up to, the people that I will bounce ideas off of. So to just be nominated with them was truly an honor, and I feel like we bring out the best in each other, and it was really exciting to just be on the panel with that group.
Well, that's great. So teaching is not an easy job. Why do you do this work? What makes you excited to come to school each day?
Gosh, there's a lot of reasons. However, I think the students obviously rank number one. They are the ultimate reason. They're my why, I would say. There was never a question that I wanted to be a teacher from the get-go. There was no backup plan because that was it. So I think to have something that I'm passionate about, that it doesn't feel like work, I feel so fortunate. And I think that's what keeps me going also. Every day's different, every year's different, so there's no getting bored with it. And every single year has stuck with me, but every single year I get excited for something new. So.
All right, great. So how has teaching this year looked different than past years?
This year has been a complete 180 to anything we've ever experienced before. I thought last year with the pandemic, and I was a virtual teacher, so my students were all at home. I was in a classroom by myself. I thought that was something that we would never experience. And then to come off of that to this year where we are blending the students back together who were in school and those who were at home for a year, that's just been a complete transformation of what the classroom looks like. and we are now learning how to teach in a completely different way. So it's been exciting, it's been challenging, and we are still learning. We still do not have it figured out, but we'll get there.
So what do you think the biggest challenge has been this year?
I would say the biggest challenge, I think, and to kind of piggyback off of last year to this year, because I think it all kind of blends together. Last year, we put so much on the parents with learning at home and putting the parents kind of in the teacher's shoes of, we need you to do this at home because they're not getting it here. So I think the biggest thing has been the transition back to where the teacher is taking on the responsibility. And I think a lot of parents, rightfully so, are like, no, thank you. This is not what I signed up for. So I think trying to find that balance of the teachers being the instructors and the parents being that support piece, that's been the biggest challenge, because I think parents are, no, thank you. I did it last year, I'm good. And we are just trying to keep that connection between the parents, the home, and school, and bridging that gap. So.
Right. Is there anything that changed because of the pandemic that you think was a good thing, or that took us somewhere that maybe we wouldn't be?
I do. I think the pandemic put a lot more emphasis on students connecting virtually. And I have seen amazing growth in our students and what they're able to do in the technology world. So they are so much more tech savvy now. So I think that has been a positive in all of the negative. Is just, I think we're going to see that our children are really able to problem solve more so than they ever have been, because they had to last year.
Yeah, and those are important life skills for our kids.
Huge, yes.
Maybe that we didn't expect them to have to experience. Okay, so what are some positives for you personally or professionally that have come out of this year?
I would say professionally, just the opportunity to be able to show what teachers are doing in the classroom, and just that to be able to show that this is such a fun and exciting career, especially for our future teachers out there, because we do need to keep bringing in some new teachers, some young teachers. I know that's been a challenge in the future, in current times, but I think just being able to use this as an opportunity to pull in people who have kind of been scared off of teaching, I guess, is the biggest thing. So just being able to, that's a positive of just being recognized, I think, for the hard work that we do as educators. I think a lot of times it's easy to feel like, I don't know, just does anybody see what's going on? Does anybody see how hard it is? But the positive professionally has been just feeling that validation in what we're doing matters, and what we're doing is making a difference. I think personally, it's been, I guess it's one and the same. It's just been rewarding, exciting to know that, what we do is making a difference.
Yeah. Well, it definitely is. Now, in addition to teaching, you are also the lead mentor at AG, and you're helping some of the new teachers.
Yes.
How is that going?
It's awesome. It's so exciting, and like I said, it's we're grateful for our new teachers that are willing to just dive in headfirst into this chaos that we are trying to figure out, I guess. But yes, it's been really exciting, really rewarding, and I just hope that we can continue to pull in new teachers and keep our teachers here in Culpeper.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. So speaking of Culpeper and our community, the success of our school system, of our teachers, of our students, it's really a community effort. What are some ways that you think that the community can support us as a school system, or support you as a teacher in the classroom?
I think the biggest way that the community can support the teachers and the students is by volunteering. I think that's a huge role, plays a huge role in helping show support for the teachers, for the staff, and also for the students, because when the community is involved, they can see real life examples of the community and how it impacts their education and how they can be a part of the community in the future. Right. I think another big thing is just letting the community know that teachers have the students' best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. And I think just trusting that teachers really do want the best for all of our students, and that would be, I think, go a long way in helping support the teachers.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the things, a neat part of my role in the school system is I get to go into a lot of schools, a lot of classrooms, see a lot of kids, and there's so many amazing things going on. Yeah. And we just need to make sure as many people as we can have share the good news, the better. So yeah, that's great. So thinking about next year, and I know that you're just wrapping up this year, but if you were looking ahead to next year, are there any changes you're thinking about making in your classroom, or is there anything that you know of that A.G. Richardson's planning to do that you're excited about for next year?
At this point of the year, it's funny because you do start to wrap up, and it does get sad because that little family that you've created is leaving. But then you also I can't help but start thinking about, okay, well, next year, this is what we can do better, or this is what we can change. So I am excited just for the little changes in the classroom. 4th grade, we do a flexible seating where the students have choice in where they're sitting. The desks are gone from the classroom. So you have the kitchen table, you have the dining room table, just to give students choice in what's comfortable for them, where they can learn best. So I'm always looking for ways to improve the flexible seating that we have, whether it's through donations or yard sales or anything like that. So little changes like that for improving the environment that the students are learning. But AG has a lot of exciting things planned for the future, and I look forward to just continuing to build this positive energy that we have post-pandemic and just really becoming that Bulldog family, that one school, one family motto that we have. So
that's awesome. Now, I hope that you'll get a chance to take a break. Do you have anything exciting planned for the summer?
Not a whole lot. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, so they keep me busy. So there will be pool days and some trips to Pennsylvania where the family is. So
okay, well, that sounds good.
Relax and recharge.
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll take a break.
Right, yes.
But most people may not realize is that teachers have a really hard time with that. They just start working on the next thing.
Yep.
Well, this is really awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
In the fall, you're going to be representing Culpeper County Public Schools in the Virginia Teacher of the Year competition.
Exciting.
So we're really excited about that, and you'll be honored through that program, which showcases the very best of teaching in Virginia, and we are very proud to have you represent us.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
That is all for today's episode of Accent on Education. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back next time.